Abel,
Cain and Abel. Sibling relationships.
Oh yeah. All right.
Checky when you
So today's topic is siblings. Siblings relationships. So Grace.
Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel.
Kwani
they are the only ones. Kwani they are the only ones.
Mimi nimeanza tu na Cain and Abel for one reason. Let me explain myself. Let me start by explaining myself.
Okay.
The reason why it has Cain and Abel has run in any Abel or Abel.
Abel, depending on whether you go to group of
Cain
schools
and Abel.
schools in groups.
Guys.
Whether you went to schools in
Guys.
groups.
Guys.
That
being said,
I'm not ashamed to say I went to school in groups.
Having been insulted, let me continue.
Insults.
So basically, when I look at Cain and Abel, same brothers, Jesus. Yeah. Same parents,
yes.
Same environment,
yes.
Same upbringing, same everything, and then we have Cain and then we have Abel. So, like that's the thing in the Bible, like same everything, and then we have Cain going his way, and then we have Abel going his way, like two very different people. Roho tofauti kabisa, matendo tofauti kabisa.
I know.
So what came to mind is a story that has been given by Max Lucado in one of his books, and he's talking about. So apparently, si unajua Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
I won't know
my favorite, yeah.
Yes. So apparently, the guy who shot Abraham Lincoln is something Booth, right?
Yeah,
Booth. All right. So apparently, years later, Abraham Lincoln's son is saved when he was trying to get on a train, alafu ikaanza kumove, and so he was saved by some guy, and turns out the guy who saved him was the brother to Booth.
Brother to Booth?
Yep.
Did he know this is Abraham Lincoln's son?
No, he didn't.
Or maybe if he had known, he would have saved him.
He did. So apparently, like he just saves him, and then badai he gets a letter from wakubwa flani, because the son recognized this guy.
Okay.
The brother to Booth.
Oh, but the guy didn't recognize him.
He didn't recognize him. Okay. So I'm just thinking how you have two brothers. Now, wote walikuwa ma-actors, wote walikuwa, like, they had all, okay, of course, different levels of what we would call success in the acting scene at the time. But both brothers, but one ends up, his story has a part where he ends up killing Abraham Lincoln. The other one has a part of his story where he actually saves the son of Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, that part we didn't know. The saving part, I didn't
Let me tell you, that is why, this is what I bring to the table.
Nyenyekea utumike dada. Humble thyself, that the Lord may use you greatly. What is it? Anyway, like I didn't know that part, because I think I love Abraham Lincoln. I've read a lot. But then it seems like there is always something new about him.
And the stories that are given about him.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering, where are the descendants of Abraham Lincoln? Like, why can someone run for president?
Ngoja. So, utaenda kuvote.
My name is Stephen Lincoln. The great grandson of
Abraham.
Oh, Haraka.
Anyway.
Sibling.
Now.
Sibling what?
Relationships. Yes. So I think I was saying that to first and foremost just put on the table the fact that despite the fact that we have siblings born and bred, probably like a certain higher percentage, we are born and brought up in the same environment, that we would still turn out different.
Yeah.
And we haven't yet talked about even siblings who are actually brought up in different environments.
Okay, yeah.
Because kuna wale wenye unapata huyu aliendanga ushago akalelewa huko, huyu mwingine akabaki tao. And so I think first thing is just acknowledging the complexity of sibling relationships.
Okay. Yeah.
Complexity.
Yeah. So complexity of humanity, humanity, meaning that every one of us is different.
Yeah.
Even wanaitaka waje hawa twins wanakuwa wanafanana identical.
Identical ni wale wanafanana kabisa.
So there are the other ones.
Fratano.
You see those twins? Those twins who are like everything is together.
Yeah.
Or the same.
It's equal.
They are also very, very different.
Yeah.
In terms of their tastes, what they want, what they do, maybe sometimes even behavior, where they go.
Yeah.
They're different.
Did you watch? Okay, I don't know, but anyway, did you watch Sister growing up?
Sister. Yeah. These two twins. What were their names?
Tia and Tamara.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how they actually are very different. Like even like it's one of the recurrent themes through the whole series.
Yes.
Like walikoti tofauti. Twins.
Yes.
Wanafanana
but they're
kabisa.
twins, yeah. But even in real life, right?
Yeah, even in real life.
They're very different.
Even the paths that they have chosen in life are very different.
How many are you, Kwenu? Like, how many siblings do you have?
We have 4.
4?
Yes.
Jesus.
We have 4 children. 4
Okay.
children. 4 children. Yes.
Your number?
I'm number 3.
Well,
And apparently that has something to speak to the kind of person I am. So we have a last born to Ambi. How many are you?
How does like you're the guys who are
Mimi ni middle child.
Yeah. Tell us about middle child. What happens to them or not to them?
I don't know what happens to them, but si tunakuaga tu.
You're sandwiched.
We're just there. Like somehow we're just there. Yeah, sisi tuko. Tuko. We are there. We are holding. Anyway,
I thought you were last born.
Are you saying I have tendencies?
Upendi kushautiwa.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Let me tell you. For all lastborns listening, we are just saying.
Yeah.
We can know where you are from afar.
Yeah. You guys are like you don't lastborns don't like to be ordered around.
But they're babies. They're like they're like our babies, and they're the baby for everyone else at home.
Yes. And the problem is they grow up and they become is it big babies? Yeah, like to come here.
Not all of them, but we are saying
which ones? Which ones are the odd one out?
I wear our lastborn.
Oh yeah, you are not a lastborn. Okay, so you're number 3.
Yes.
What are the dynamics of being 4 of you? Since we are 2 of us, so really it's not a big deal.
Complex. Tell us about zile za movies where the 2 children are in love. They can go to the ends of the world.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting. Hata sisi wanne we can go to the ends of the world.
I doubt.
Why though?
I doubt.
Why?
It's not normal.
So here's the thing. I'm realizing the age gap also plays a big factor. Because we're the 4 of us, and the 4 of us tumeachana na a couple of years, like around 3-4 years in between, which means the age bracket between our eldest and our youngest is some good years.
Like how many years?
Over
Like over 10 years.
Yeah.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
Over 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
So you can tell they are like generations apart, or rather so
kuna Gen Z na Gen Alpha. Like kuna Gen Alpha.
Guy.
One of them is Gen Alpha.
All of us.
All of you are Gen Z.
Guy, no. Last one Gen Z.
They must be Gen Z.
Yes.
Na first born ni?
Sisi ni mimi na yeye same WhatsApp group.
Or baby boomers?
Oh. Guy, you are giving people the impression that I am advanced in years.
Very nice choice of words.
Yes.
Very nice choice of words. You didn't say old or aged. Advanced in years.
Advanced. I've been here for a while.
Are you not?
But no, I have not been here for a very long time. Guys, it's just been a while. A minute or 2.
I'm just learning new things,
I'm still figuring.
I'm even learning how to breathe.
I hear you. But I think our dynamic growing up was because of the age difference. There was a difference. Like you know our firstborn when you meet her.
Okay.
Like she is a first, like her in and of herself.
Okay.
You will know our secondborn when you meet her. Then you will know me when you meet. Then you will see our fourthborn when you meet us.
Okay.
However, growing up, like the four of us, it was fun. Because mko wengi. Yeah. But also there were serious wars.
I know. I can imagine.
There were serious wars. We would probably agree and disagree over small things because we had to share space. Alafu, it's not like tulikuwa na just seven bedroom mansion.
Yeah. Oh, everyone had that their own like bedroom.
Bed. Bedroom at bed. It's a foreign concept. Everyone had their own bed. That was a foreign concept. But then we had to do life in the same space, and you had to do it. You had to do it as per the rules that have been set by, of course,
by your parents.
By the parents.
Okay.
Okay. What I remember sana is between now my brother and myself, because we so the two who are older, they would do a lot of phases of life together.
Okay.
As they grow, napata kama moja ko high school, maybe form 4, mwingine ako form 1, so they would have that. Then sisi kama tuko primary, tumebaki primary together. Tunaenda tu And so between my brother and I, growing up, tuko tuna fight over anything and everything. But then we would unite for a common enemy.
Okay.
And I feel like
in this case, common enemies.
Anybody else.
Okay.
Anybody else. No, even the four of us would unite. Like if we don't like you, we don't like you. Okay. If we like you and we have approved of you, that was very nice. Kulikuwa na dynamics za different assignments zetu. So for example, if we want something, we know the person who can easily get it for us is the younger one.
Okay.
So we just be like, you ask mom.
Oh my
goodness.
Ama
unaanza kuhint. You're just like, you're not hungry.
Yeah.
Because then we knew if this one is hungry, most probably mom and dad will not buy just for him.
So you learned the art of manipulation
when we were younger.
Oh my goodness. And you used your younger sibling to manipulate.
It happens. Is there anybody who is shocked? But you see, this is now when we were younger.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Does it still happen? Even now? Sometimes.
I think sometimes. It also depends because there are things that probably I would know that if this one I ran it through my older sister, this one, it will be rubber stamped to me. Okay. Because of different things, how we've turned out, how we've gone through life and all. So there are things that I know that if this one I ran it through so and so, probably things would go better. And then also just realizing now that we're adults, we have different strengths, different ways of approaching things and all that. But going back, Sasa, to childhood, the realization that growing up wengi ni different now when you only grew up kidogo.
Yeah.
So we had that. And I used to enjoy every time when we would go to church and then my dad would be like, if you know you are Rakika, wherever you are, it's time for us to go. So unatumwa utafute wenzako na mtoke mwende na mnatembea. So you also have kuna dynamic ya mnatembea in which group.
Okay.
Because mom and dad ni kama wako na clique yao na nyinyi mko na yenu. But then pia where my sisters are, the level of mushene that they have is different from ya mimi na my bro tukiwa wadogo. Still those dynamics. But my brother and I, the things we would fight about are toys. We would really kosana about vitu kama toys. Nani ameharibu vitu za nani. And then the two of us would be in trouble for messing up with vitu za the older ones, especially when they went to boarding school. Because then we had to, what about if? So when they come back, they're feeling very bad, because we messed things up. But I feel like a lot that happened in that time was fueled by how our parents would treat us and how we would handle issues amongst ourselves. However, it is important for me to mention that my dad being the man that he is, there were strict rules of engagement in our house.
Okay.
In fact, they were printed and they were stuck on the walls.
Yeah. Wololo.
Yes.
That should happen, man. For kids, it's not a joke.
Yeah, so he was just like, no negative body language.
No negative body language.
Yes. No pushing and pulling. It's like whatever happens, no screaming and shouting at each other. There was like a code of conduct. And he had printed it out in ilikuwa imewekwa kwa ukuta. So you knew for sure that mkipatana tu, whatever you guys do, mkipatwa mkifanya, you're all in trouble.
Okay.
Because the rules are the same. Like, I think that really helped when we were growing up. Because there are 4 of us, that's a lot of work. Like, I feel like they really
That's a handful.
Yeah, it's a handful. Na hata tujongelele wenye walikuwa na 11. Hawa ni 4 tu na tunafikiria.
Kuna mtu unajua kwa na 11? Jesus. Well, sisi we only 2. Myself, my brother. I am. What do you think? I am first or second? Like first born or last born? I mean, like first or second.
Baby bloomers.
See, bloomers. It's boomers. But I'm not a baby boomer.
That is evidence that you are one of them.
It is evidence that I have studied.
You are one of them.
So anyway, so my brother. So what do you think I am? First or last born? Make a guess.
Well,
how do I behave?
Nikeka we na first born yetu in the same WhatsApp group. Mnaweza run the country.
Bas. Now we are talking. Firstborns being firstborns, you know. So listen to me, every firstborn. You must take charge, okay? You must be the one in authority. Ukikohoa unaitika.
Mtashanga. Amjakutana na last borns.
Oi. Anyway, so our gap is not very wide, but we are. So we grew up in. Not like you, definitely. Like there weren't many rules, but my mom had her rules. So my mom is the one who raised us because my father was kind of absent. You know, like hayuko lakini yuko. But then eventually they like separated. So my mom raised us, and it was tough on her raising 2 sons, 2 boys. You know. 2 boys, you know, boys
are bigger when you boys wanakuanga stable.
Yeah, I know. Like we climbed everything, TV, and it was crazy. But so it was fun growing up at home. We used to pray every day. We used to have these moments of reading the Bible, and even praise and worship.
Yeah.
You guys also had that.
Oh yeah. I think about golden bells.
Golden bells.
Oh my God. That kila mtu ana golden bells yake. These parents of mine, surely. Why?
But then at some point, my bro had to go to a boarding school, and I also had to go to a boarding school, like high school. Yeah, I ended primary school. Boarding meaning I went to high school. So we had a gap, and then when I malized high school, my brother sasa alibaki high school. So then when they would close school. Yeye alikuwa anaenda wapi? Ocha. To my mom's side.
Yeah. Okay.
So your gap. The funny thing is, it didn't really separate us.
Oh, interesting.
It did separate us because we are still in very good terms. He's the one guy I know I can turn to. He can turn, like we can support each other. So then when by the time he was done with high school, I was already in university. So there was all those needs. I left home when I was, I think, 20. Nikaenda shule, like for campus. Okay. My campus I chose boarding section.
Okay.
And then when I malized that, nilikaa 1 month home, then I went, sasa nikatoka kabisa home. Yeah. So yeye alikaa. You know, yeye alikaa na mama yake. You know, but I know, but we used to fight also. We used to have a lot of life. I think the nini is kawaida. Those two kukua rivals in a way.
Yeah.
Because we used to like wrestle. We used to watch wrestling. So to wrestle, my friend. Every night my mom would come to sort some cases. Oh, so Joro did this. He beat me. I beat him. I did this. So like we used to really have.
It's okay.
Izo vita.
I think it's normal when kids are growing up to actually have that.
Yeah. But then also when we talk about personalities, you see, because everyone has their personality.
Yeah.
So Mimi, I used to be a male.
Okay.
My bro alikuwa choleric. So my bro would zomea mpaka house helps. Akiwa kadogo sana. Then my aunties wakikuja, my mom's sisters, other teta too. On the other hand, I was very calm. like ile too relaxed. I would observe so many things I want to speak. But
now when you're firstborn.
I mean, you're firstborn. Yeah, nile karata you just play and you're like, do I really need to talk? No. I won't waste my breath on this. You know, like, put me in charge.
Wow.
But what are your personalities? Like, how do we navigate your personalities among siblings?
I think it changes from when you're younger to when you're older. Because when you're younger, you're not very aware that it is personality differences. I think one of the things that comes up a lot when I'm talking to teenagers is when it feels like amefigure out kila kitu nyinyi ndio hamumuelewi. And so that would obviously cause a lot of friction in the house. There's also the difference of, as you advance, for example, like you're saying, there's a place where you were at and you're like, some of these are not things I want to fight over, but some of them are things that your brother is willing to go to the grave for. It's just like, can never happen, not when I'm around. And I think when you're older, if you take time to actually just study and take time to just understand this person and where they're coming from, it makes it easier when you're growing up. And and then also getting to a point where you're like, this is how this person is, and how best can I live with them, as opposed to you want them to change and be like you or see life like you. So when we are younger, I don't even know if I knew I had a personality. I was just doing me. I was just doing me because I was very. I think ningekuwa your brother. Okay, sikuwa na hiyo nguvu ya kunini, lakini mimi ni wale wa presentations, sijui in front of you, as nini. So if you need anything done by the family, be sure Grace will introduce everything. She will do all that, which is very different from my other siblings and how they handled and how they were growing up. Now that we've grown, we can actually be able to tell, oh, this is how this person is. In fact, Josie don't really realize that our last born isn't an extrovert.
Oh, he's not.
Hey,
he's an introvert.
He is.
Why did you think he was an extrovert?
I think because, again, growing up, he and I were always mischievous.
Oh.
We were always out doing everything and doing everything. Until now, this couple, I was actually telling him, we were having this conversation, I was telling him, I feel like he's been lying to me our whole life.
I know.
Ile kabisa. I remember looking at him and I'm like, wait, you're not an extrovert. Because, so I think kuna hiyo challenge when a person is an introvert, when they're around someone they're comfortable, you could easily mistake them to be outgoing and nini, because wakiwa na wewe, they are that. Yes. But then in other circles, that's not who they are. They would rather take a backseat. And so for the longest time, I actually thought he was that guy who tukienda na yeye, we, fanya hivi na atafanya. But then now I was just realizing, I'm like, you mean? And so when he was explaining to me, he's like, it's hard for me to do this. I get nervous when I'm doing this. I'm like,
where?
Serious.
I know.
But it's taken a lot of intentionality for me to even just put it in my mind that,
you know, that's what is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, are we intentional in knowing the people we grew up with? Or do we think we know them simply because we grew up with them?
I think mostly we assume we know them because we grew up with them. And I think that is what contributes to sibling rivalry when you're older. Because now you see, when you're older, you're not fighting over toys and then becoming friends. Now mnakosana mpaka mnakosania your spouses, mnakosania. It's just big things at hand. But sometimes maybe it's because you're dealing with the younger brother.
Yeah.
Unaona bado yeye ni mtoi, anaona yeye amegrow. Such things. So you find you really didn't walk this journey, you haven't taken time to. Yeah,
you are not intentional. You are not. You see, it's like the way you can be intentional about knowing your hobby. Okay, you know, you're intentional about knowing your husband. He's also intentional about knowing you. I'm intentional about knowing my wife. You see, like, so that then you are able to build up this relationship. But then when it comes to our siblings, we are never really there. We are never really intentional to discover them.
I think maybe it is because it always looks automatic. And I think that is one of the things I'm realizing now, because I have a special found respect for my family over the last few years. And I'm realizing they would go to the moon and back from it. They might show it in very different ways.
Yeah.
We might never agree on. Yeah. I mean, we don't always agree on everything.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing that, it's the ending is the same.
Yeah, I know.
The ending is the same. And so I'm realizing I have to learn how to speak the language of our firstborn, speak the language of our secondborn, and then speak the language that our lastborn would understand, so that I can have individual relationships with them. So it is not a relationship based on tukiwa hapa kama kigroup. Unajua ni wengi. Acha nikwambie, the time you take to invest in every one of them, it's a full-time job. I feel like I need to add that kwa CV yangu. I'm like, I am a sister.
I know. Like for me and my brother, we are so different. Like so different. If you put our personalities and our temperaments on the same place, you wouldn't think we are even from the same mom or the same parents, because we are so different. My brother is those outgoing guys, those people in Onajituma. They want to do things, they want to be there. They believe in presence, which is okay, which is great. On the other hand, myself, I prefer being alone, being in my own space. I prefer. I would rather send a text
than make a phone call.
Make a phone
it's those, you're realizing how those differences are.
Yes.
And if you don't take time to actually just realize, siati hatupendani. It's just that this works better for you.
Yes.
And then just also finding the balance where you're ready to go out of your cocoon once in a while to have that phone call with him. And he's ready to sometimes just reply to your message just because you're a message person, and it doesn't necessarily mean hampendani or something. It's just how you guys are.
And it took a while for me personally to learn that this is who I am and to accept myself as I am, because most people prefer the outgoing people. They prefer those guys who are always making noise, who are not making noise. Those guys who are champagne stories.
I was about to strike.
I know, because you were there. So I repent in ashes and now it didn't wash clothes. So in ashes and sackcloth.
Ash cloth. Is everything alright? I'm umeanza to withdraw from this conversation. Ni text.
Do me text.
Because where?
I'm going to a blog. So anyway, those are the differences, and I think we have to be very, even for those who are listening, I think we have to be very intentional about our siblings, to know them, to learn them, to understand them, so that the things we fight over when you're older, we're able to avoid them, if possible, earlier. Because
now that I'm thinking about it, I think one of the places where drama happens, it's almost like every December we are looking forward to Christmas and to meet, but you're also looking forward to the drama that is going to unfold. And it is usually because you're just a whole group of different people. And I think sometimes we also overlook the fact that despite the fact that I might think I know you, over a couple of 3-4 months, you're not the same person that you are. And so the same way you would still respect your boss, still respect your parents, that you choose that even with your siblings, and just constantly choose peace. So you're like, so ni sufuria tu, okay. Wanataka nyanya ikatwe square, mimi nataka ikue circle. Hakuna haja Christmas ishe kama tuongeleshani because of that. And I feel like that intentionality would go a long way, especially if it is a group of siblings who are actually just trusting God that they can enjoy the gift of being siblings. Because the truth is, you don't have anyone else who you can say, mommy and daddy are the same. When you think about it, they're really dear and special people. Because like you're saying, now it's just you and your brother. Of course, you have your family, he has his. But as far as your mom and your dad are concerned, he's the one person anaweza elewa venye ulikuwa unapigwa na mwiko.
I know. Na waya ya stima, like you see that cable ya kucharge radio. I don't know kama today they exist. But those days kulikuwa na not to charge radio, like ile
cable ya power.
No, the power cable to the radio. That one. That one. We used to need with that. So when you think of the Bible, what comes to your mind about siblings? Ulisema Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Which other one do you
same bros, same everything, but turn out very different.
But think of Jacob's kids, Jacob's sons.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Imagine how 12. No wonder walikuwa nauzana tu na huko.
Yeah. They'll sell you. They actually wanted to kill Joseph.
Yeah. Then Joseph, one of them
they were last born at that time.
That was before Benjamin was born.
So I think Jacob had Joseph had this kierere. Kwenda kumwambia baba yake.
Una risk maisha yako.
Everything that his brothers had done.
It happened. I'm so sure any person mwenye ashawahi kuwa hata kama it was short-lived last born.
Alikuwa anakimbia anasema, "Daddy, mommy."
And our parents rewarded that. We were rewarded us for that. Ilikuwa divide and rule. Come to think, I think an African home is very political. Ni wenye atujui. You are rewarded. Ati wamefanya nini? Wametoka sai. Shika hii mandazi. Exactly, go and deal with them.
Chapati. Yeah. But then you think about David and his brothers.
Yeah.
When he went to kill Goliath.
Oh.
You know? And they were like, who sent you here? Who is watching over the sheep? You know? It's like, wewe, go back. You know, like... And also Jesus with his brothers and you know all those people.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot.
I hear you, but I think the realization that even as we read through the Bible, we can see how different relationships turn out. I think I like the relationship of James and Jesus later.
Okay.
When later. When James is talking about Jesus, he's like, "Yeah, my Lord."
I know.
You know, he's just like, bro, like ametambua.
Yeah, kwanza in that context, and in a letter, ministry context.
Yes, ametambua. This is my bro. This is what he does. And when he's writing, when you see James writing, he seems to have some reverence for his brother. He doesn't just look at him as the Jesus who they grew up with and all that, or the Jesus who is told. Because you can see the difference of the dynamic when the disciples come and tell Jesus, your mother and your brothers are here to see you. Jesus decides out of nowhere. Like, why would Jesus just decide to go? My brothers and sisters, my family, hawa wenye wananisikiza. I was just like, why though?
Why?
Why?
Anaruka his blood.
But again, when you look at what he was referring to, he's like, okay, hawa ndio my disciples.
Yeah.
Being a disciple makes you my brother and my sister, of course. Yeah. But when you look at it, what that would challenge me to do is then ask myself, do you recognize the strengths, the gifts, just the blessing that your siblings have? You know?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Just you know, just being like, yeah, because I have seen my brother grow up. Our eldest has seen all the four of us, you know, grow up. And so she's seen us in our worst. She's seen us probably at our best. And so for her to say, hey, guys, coming over to Kule and just treat you with utmost respect, despite and in spite, I can imagine that's a lot of maturity from her. Choosing to see us as the husbands and wives that we probably are now. Because milianza mkiwa wadogo. I feel like,
that's a nice
that intentionality, Mungu tu atusaidie. But yeah, that's one of the things that I drew from your story of Jesus and James.
Nice. It's a powerful point. You know, recognizing the gifts of everyone, what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
And when someone is called, for example, you are called in ministry, and then one of the, I think, I'm not sure, one of the validations is when your siblings are like, okay, truly that one is called, you know?
I think, okay, I agree with you at a personal level.
Yeah.
Because when I got my first formal employment, I remember texting our eldest sister and telling her, I went for the interview and I got the job. And I was kind of feeling very disqualified. She sent me a text message that I'll never forget. And she told me, she wrote, God qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified, something like that.
God
it was just he qualifies whoever he's called.
Yes.
And then she was just like, so when you take this job, just be faithful. And I still remember that message. And it gave me so much approval. It's like to know that she actually thinks I can do this. I don't know. It just came from the sweetest point. Yes. And I really wanted to make her proud. And even the days when she would come to our workplace, I wanted everyone to know, my sister, give first class service, that is my sister. Then kidogo ikwe mambo ya familia. But anyway. But it did go a long way.
Yeah.
Just that one message of letting me know that, you can do this.
Do it.
Yes.
He does not call the qualified.
Yeah, he qualifies the called. Yeah. She wrote me that message. I actually need to just send her a message and tell her Asante.
Yeah.
Asante for I don't even think she remembers. I don't even think she remembers. But I think the intentionality is a place to start. That's what we're saying in this conversation. That we have our siblings, we have our stories of how we've grown up. And sometimes these relationships go through very hard times when you've been in serious confrontation, but just wanting to make it work and not throw away everything and say end. Then slowly you begin to overlook the small issues, the ones that easy by the hata si lazima tupiganie.
Alafu, why do siblings really carry them? Those two small issues to kitambo, we carry them into our adulthood. Alifanya hivi, alifanya vile,
I think because we never have these conversations on, for example, mmepatana and you actually tell your sibling when you did this as adults. Because you see, as children, we never used to talk about it. We would report each other.
Yeah.
Now we are adults. Where do I report you?
Yeah, I know.
So, I think one of the things that I want to thank God my parents did is there is a point where they would allow you to solve your issues.
Yeah.
Sijui who did what and who did what. As long as they have said, because the rules were very clear. That one, wait. Those are very clear. So even in terms of personal items and what you own and what I own, they were labeled. Kwa nyumba kulikuwa na vitu zilikuwa labeled. I remember some 4 small knives that my dad bought for every one of us so that we would learn to do work in the kitchen. And in uto tuvisu, our first born ilikuwa imelabeliwa na stick moja, like amegwaruza stick moja. Your second born ilikuwa na stick 2, yangu ilikuwa na stick 3, na last born ilikuwa na stick 4. So anytime you would see 4, unajua hiyo ni nani. Ukiona 3, unajua hiyo ni ya nani. Ukiona 2, unajua hiyo ni ya nani na 1. And so pole mnaanza tu kuzisort tu. Sijui who used my nini akafanya, sijui nini akafanya nini. There was a point where they'd be like, have you talked to them? Have you told them?
Yeah.
And now it is better when we get to talk and be like, I don't think this worked or this worked. But as we're doing that now, we are also learning that there are bigger issues for us to sort together. So when you think about it that way, the sufuria which was washed and not washed becomes an issue. The sijui nani alisalimiwa hakujibu becomes an issue. You actually find yourself becoming Moshane buddies.
So wait a minute. So you guys are like, how many girls?
We are 3 girls and 1 boy.
Finished. Now I understand the Moshane part.
I feel like I would call my sisters anytime I was like, but now that has taken a lot of growth, and I must acknowledge even the role that they have played in also just sometimes just overlooking my ignorance and just going, okay, sawa.
Yeah, the last born among the girls, right?
Oh, well, you think it was sorry. Last born. Okay. But anyway, so I think even as siblings get to listen to this, because I think we'll be doing another podcast on now the dynamics of sibling rivalry.
Yes.
It's just starting from one. Do you really value these people? And would you want them to continually be in your life? Are you ready to put in the work to have them? And to realize that you're not having them just for you, but even for your kids. having their aunties, their uncles. You know, tulijipata tuko kwa domi za wazazi na hata tujui tuliingia huko aje. Generational domes. Exactly. So just as siblings, being aware and choosing to say, God help us. We're not perfect. We will fight for sure. But even when we fight, we know we are not fighting to achane. Tuna fight to rudi to, we must fix this. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So let's call it a day. Thank you. Tutaendelea.
Yep.